Right, welcome everybody to the first ever episode of BV2. Tonight we've got a great guest. We've got Iwan Evans, top rugby player, Mr. Nice Guy. I've got two co-hosts with me tonight. First of all, I've got Jimmy 5 jerseys, Daniel Davis. Daniel, who are you currently footballing supporting at the moment?
I'm currently supporting Swans. I always support the Swans. What are you on about? I don't know where this myth has come from.
I was thinking the other day, Dan, you've supported about 5 or 6 different clubs, but no one could call you a glory hunter because between those 5 or 6 clubs, you've only actually won the League Cup twice.
I always stop supporting them, then they win things. That's the problem.
You were a Leicester fan at one point, weren't you?
I was, until they won the league. Yeah, stopped the year before they won the league. No, joking.
Swans going well, Dan?
Yeah, I think we've got a good chance of going up this year. Well, say that after Huddersfield, it wasn't the best result, was it? But I think we've got a strong squad this year.
Are you a fan of Cooper?
Love him. He's brilliant.
I didn't realise he was Welsh till the other day.
Not Vernon Cooper now, I mean Steve Cooper, yeah.
I didn't realise he was Welsh until the other day.
Yeah, he's from Pontypridd. His old man was a referee. He was in the Premier League, the first year of the Premier League. He was a referee in the first year.
Right, thanks, Dan. Right, over to his brother, the handsome Davis, Rowan, unluckiest mascot in Welsh rugby history. All right, Ro?
All right, how's it going? All right,
Good.
how's it going?
All right, how's it going? We could be all night. Obviously, you and Iwan share something, don't you?
Yeah, pants. No. The name Saunders. The name Saunders, a family name.
I had to think, and I was like,
yeah, it's a family name. How many investors? There's about 10 now, is there?
yeah, there's a fair way.
So where does it come from, then?
No idea.
Is it like a grandfather or something, or what?
Yeah, great grandfather, I think it is. That was the original name, or something like that.
It was the milk name.
So it's nothing to do with Dean Saunders, then?
No interesting story at all. Sorry, say.
Right.
Wasn't he the first mayor of Brecknock as well, or something like that?
No, that was Bryn. That was or something.
Yeah.
Is it?
Iwan, are you aware of why Rowan is the unluckiest mascot in the world ever?
No, I don't think I am.
Back in 1993, Rowan won a competition, and he was mascot of Wales versus Canada, and Wales lost to Canada. So,
The only time they've ever lost to Canada.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. Canada were a pretty tidy side there, not to be fair.
No, they
Do
weren't.
you want to know the interesting fact about that game?
Yes, tell me.
Who was making their debut in that game?
Right, this is one for the audience. If you can predict
1993.
the first person to guess who was making their debut for Wales versus Canada in 1993 will win an all-inclusive weekend away in Torremolinos with Adrian Locke. Only joking. We haven't got that sort of budget yet. Anyway, right. Iwan, on to Iwan Evans. Thank you for joining us. Like I said, Mr. Nice Guy.
No problem.
How did rugby start for you?
Well, just like any other kid, I suppose, growing up, especially with a father that's played rugby before, starting off in the house, passing the rugby ball, and obviously decided to start coaching at Ystradgynlais RFC, of course. Just went from there, really. Started off at under 8s, I think it was then. I know they're getting younger and younger these days. There's under 6 and under 5s and all that, but under 8s, I think it was. Under 8s at Ystradgynlais. Obviously,
you were a very successful side, didn't you?
Yeah. To be fair, all the way to youth, basically. We were very lucky, some good players and a good team, to be fair. So yeah, we were very lucky.
What was it like having your father coaching you?
A bit, well, it was enjoyable, of course, but a bit stressful at times. Say you'd have a bad game and things wouldn't go in your way. You'd have a talking to in the house afterwards.
He's an extremely competitive chap, your father, isn't he?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, because you play cricket with him as well, isn't he? And he's definitely one for winning, isn't he? He's definitely keen on winning, like.
Yeah.
But obviously, then when you the big game came in youth, in the Millennium Stadium, and the drop goal, that won the game, that must have been an amazing feeling.
Well, the amazing feeling was winning the game, not the drop goal. We still had work to do at that point because I know Watson were out of our line for about 3-4 minutes. So that amazing feeling was sort of defending our own line for that 4 or 5 minutes and finally holding them up over the line and that final whistle going. You know, I'll never forget that feeling. It was class, especially with your mates. You know, just to do it with your mates that you've played rugby with since you were under 8s is amazing. Never best game of my life, definitely.
Can I ask you a question on that game? I remember half time they had a proper came on and everybody sort of knew who he was. Did he go on to do anything after that?
Yeah. Kieran Nazarati, he's currently with the Blues. So he played on the weekend for the Blues. Yeah, I think he was I think he came off the bench, I think. So
yeah, I remember there being sort of a buzz when this prop came on for them.
Yeah, I think because he was with Wales, I think, under 16s or under 18s it must have been because he was youth. He was with Wales under 18s at the time, so he was only allowed 40 minutes. So that's why he came on half time. And definitely made a change, definitely made a difference to the game. I know our scrum went back a bit and he sort of carried hard and got him over the gain line. And it was a different buzz for.
It was completely nuts, though, the fact that he was in the Welsh Cup, Welsh Bowl final, and he was only allowed to play half a game.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he did make a significant difference, but you've got to feel for him and the boys around him to think he's probably played there most of his life, and they get to a final Millennium, and the union are telling him, "Look, you can only have half a game."
Yeah, exactly.
Bonkers, really.
Good for us, though.
I don't argue. You'll never know if the result would have been different. You can only go with the reality that you've won it.
Yeah.
Obviously, then you left Ystradgynlais Youth. You went on to play for one of the most famous rugby clubs in the world. The side I supported beyond Ystradgynlais and as the old merit table side as a kid, Neath. That must have been quite daunting.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think. Well, I still had. Was in my second year of youth. I still had a year left of senior rugby, and I had a phone call off the team manager at the time, Martin Morris, asking me to come along to pre-season. I think I was going to Zante with the boys at the time, so I had to say no for the first week. But to be fair to him, he said, you know, go and enjoy your holidays and come back. But yeah, definitely, I was a young 18-year-old kid and not knowing anybody, turning up to this famous rugby team or rugby club, you know. And
so are they been watching those, or how did they get your name sort of thing?
Yeah. So funny enough, I was playing in a semi-final for Ystradgynlais Youth against Neath Athletic. I think it was. I think it was the district cup. I think. So we played we played over there for a semi-final, and I must have had a good game. And obviously, he's rang me up the week later. Like, so yeah, it was.
I remember having the phone call of Martin Morris because I was team manager the first of the time.
Yeah.
And I remember the phone going, not recognising the number and answering it. And I said, "Oh, this is Martin Morris, team manager Neath. I want to speak to you about your outside half." So I immediately thought, "Oh, they want to sign Ricky Williams." Because obviously Ricky had been played for Swansea and had played a lot of first-class rugby. And so I thought, "Oh, are you sure?" And he said, "Are you sure you want Ricky, a boy of his age?" And he said, "No, I'm talking about Iwan Evans." So I said again, "Are you sure?" And that wasn't because of your ability. That was because of your age. Because you'd only, I'm not one to question anybody's ability, but you'd only just turned 18, didn't you? Do you know what I mean? 3 or 4 months before, you'd had 2 games for the first where you came on as a sub. Obviously, you one of those games you won the West Wales Bowl, didn't you?
Yeah, and the other one was Abercrave, I think.
Yeah, and you came on, and to be fair, when you came on there, you changed the game massively. Your kick into the corners was fantastic.
Yeah.
So obviously then, to think, and Martin Morris, I've got to say, not many team managers do this. He wanted to give us the heads up, really. And after that point, he would phone me regular to tell me how well you'd done on a Saturday. He told me to tell me when you didn't play well as well, in fairness. But the good phone calls were coming far more than the bad phone calls. So it was really, I was really chuffed to hear that you were doing so well. Seeing you coming as a young boy in the club and then going on to play a good standard of rugby was really good to see. But obviously, times were quite tough at Neath at times, weren't they, I'd say?
Very tough. I think for the time I must have been there 4 years or just under 4 years, and won a handful of games. So yeah, definitely tough, especially going from, like you said earlier, a successful sort of Ystradgynlais team growing up and at the youth as well, winning cups and leagues, and so from going to almost winning every week really, to probably losing every week was definitely tough and something I wasn't used to. So yeah, that did have a big impact on sort of not only my personal game, but just sort of how the team were going as well.
Can I ask you, with obviously you're going from, like you said, successful and then to more losing games. Do you think that helped you develop as a player? Because I'm a strong believer in losing is part of makes you a stronger person and a player. What do you feel about that yourself?
I think in the long run, definitely, it does make you a better player, it makes you stronger. You learn more about the game or what have you. But at the time, a young 18-year-old, just playing my first sort of games as senior rugby, I found it really, really tough. Especially with my goal kicking as well. The pressure was on you. You were on the spotlight, sort of thing. Just you and those goal posts, and I really struggled with my goal kicking probably for the first season or two, and it was taken off me. And we had a good full back that could kick the ball miles. So lucky he was there, really. Otherwise, it'd have been a lot worse for me.
There was quite a few people from the area playing. There was Sausage at the same time. Sausage Ystradgynlais number 8. Yeah.
So I think when I first got there, Sauce and Ryan Evans.
Yeah, no, Ryan. His father used to play for Ystradgynlais, didn't he?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So they were nice to have. Some familiar faces. To be fair, all the boys were great welcoming me when I got there. So yeah, it was nice to have some familiar faces there, definitely.
I got to say, every time I see Sausage play, I think he's outstanding. He's very talented, number 8. Ystradgynlais are very lucky to have him.
Oh, definitely. He should probably still be playing in the Prem. He's he left to go back to Ystradgynlais. But yeah, no, definitely probably still capable of, I don't know how old he is, but definitely still capable of playing in the Prem.
Sausage is a great bloke, to be fair.
Yeah, great player, great bloke.
While you were there, did Lynn Jones coach you for a bit, I believe? Is that true?
Yeah, I think wasn't more than 4-5 months. A few sort of coaches came and went, and Lynn came in and made a hell of a difference, to be fair, to the team. We're still suffering with losses, what have you, but the way he went about looking at the knowledge he has about the game and stuff was a massive help for us, and top quality coach.
Wasn't he coaching Russia at the time?
I'm not sure if he was just about to go there or just before everything was sort of confirmed. If not, definitely they came on to him as he came to Neath. But I think that's the reason why he left. He left to go to play. To coach in Russia.
Didn't you have a bit of an offer to go out to Russia to play?
I did.
Didn't fancy it?
2, I think. One of them, the first offer I had to go out was doing when I was out in New Zealand. So I only just got to New Zealand. I didn't want to say, okay, and sort of leave New Zealand. I wanted to have that experience of playing and living in New Zealand. And then the second offer, I think that was more of it wasn't an offer like, okay, we've got a club for you. It was like, send your CV and whatever, and we'll see if you're good enough or you're for that team or whatever. But that second one came sort of towards the end of when I was out in New Zealand, but I didn't go ahead with it.
Did you ever consider it? Because obviously you would have had an opportunity there to represent Russia Russia qualify for World Cups. Was it a temptation to think down that road?
Yeah, definitely. Especially the first offer I had. I did. It wasn't. Oh no, thank you. I sort of thought about it for a couple of weeks. Not only that, the World Cup was sort of a long way off, or whatever. But it was professional. You would be a professional rugby player out there. So, it could have opened other opportunities, opened other doors for me. More local to home or closer to home. So yeah, definitely considered it.
I will say, mine in Russia, men died 20 years before the women. So perhaps not such a great choice. But they reckon there's 11 million more women in Russia. So perhaps somewhere to look for a stag do or a rugby tour, perhaps. I don't know. But I think the 11 million women are all over 65. So depends what you're into, I suppose, isn't it?
No, I'm glad I stayed in New Zealand.
You'd have to change your name to Iwan Evans or something.
Yeah, I would have, I
mean, yeah, oh, great. Right, so next time, when you were in Neath, then Sevens circuit came on board, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you were selected for Welsh Development Sevens, is it?
Yeah, that's it. So I had one of the boys playing Neath, Chris Moggs, great player, involved with a lot of sevens. And one week he asked me, he said, "Do you fancy a weekend away in Ibiza playing rugby?" And I was like, what's this all about? So he explained to me, and it was this sort of invitational sevens team, and it was a tournament out there, and sort of got involved with those first. Trips away to Dubai, what have you. And yeah, so I started playing in the social team really for that team. And then sort of worked my way up as I got more tournaments under my belt, what have you. Had some good games and good competitions out in Dubai, and yeah, I had a phone call or a text saying to go training for the Welsh Development Sevens team.
That's hell of a life for a young bloke. No ties and everything there. Oh, what a life.
Yeah, definitely. It was class.
Did you? What countries did you get? What countries did you get to go to?
So the first one was Russia. Funny enough, Moscow.
Could have stayed there.
Yeah, I've been there, man. For Moscow. Yeah, I was class. We beat England that day as well. So I'm undefeated to England.
That's good.
Yeah, we won 21-14. And then the second tournament was Poland. And then the third tournament was France. So I went on 3.
That's not bad, is it?
Yeah, no.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Much rugby in Poland?
No, I don't think so. I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Didn't Cardiff have a Polish player, Gregory something? Katsała, is it? That's him. Gregory Kakala. Yeah. I remember him. He's the only Polish player I can think of.
Played for Breve as well, didn't he?
That's right, Di.
Yeah, Lodz we went in Poland. I'm not sure if you've heard the city Lodz. It was a football stadium. It's quite a nice ground, to be fair.
Ah, great. Right, so what prompted you then to go to New Zealand?
It's something I'd, thought about, considered for doing for quite a time, like. But I just thought I was getting older. If I don't do it now, I'll probably never do it. So I just went for it. Again, that same player that got me into the sevens had gone out to New Zealand when he was a bit younger and passed on my details to the club out in New Zealand, and I had an email within probably 5 hours after me telling him. So yeah, I just went from there.
Oh, great. What kind of a standard was it?
The club I played for, Waikaka, I think the league was sort of changing when I went out there. I think they went into the Southland Premiership. So it was a decent standard, probably the same as Ystradgynlais back here, Division 1, Division 2 sort of standard.
Yeah.
Proper sort of farmland country,
Because you played a bit of sevens up there as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so a funny story for you again now. So the team...
We'll be the judge of
that. the team I played for when I said I went to Ibiza and Dubai, it was an invitational team, and we had players from all over the world, just Kiwis, Aussies, French, Irish, English, Welsh. And one of the New Zealanders was living in the town I moved to. So we met up for a coffee, and his brother was the strength and conditioning coach for the Southland Stars, which is the provincial team. And he said, the 7th season is coming up. Do you fancy coming for a runabout? Like, I was like, yeah, all right, why not? Because when I went out there, it was summer, so rugby season was way, way away. So I said, yeah, why not? So I ended up going down, doing a bit of training, and ended up being selected for the regionals and nationals.
So that was a good standard then of sevens.
Yeah, definitely. We were playing in the likes of the Kiwi boys who go on the circuit, professional circuit. So you're playing. I can't remember any of their names, to be honest, but there were boys there that were playing on the international circuit, all over the world. So yeah, really good standard.
So, prefer the sevens rugby use, or is it more? Don't mind, like them both the same.
Say it again. Sorry, Dan.
You prefer sevens rugby? Seem to play a lot of it, or is it? Do you mind the both?
Yeah, I do. Sort of, I'd probably lying if I said they're both the same. I probably pick sevens over 15s. So yeah, a lot more fun, and I think the social aspect of it as well is a lot better. And the travelling you can do as well. Definitely sevens. If I had to pick one, I do. I love 15s as well. But if I had to pick one, I'd go sevens. Yeah.
I could think of nothing worse than playing sevens. Nothing worse.
You just over 40s or whatever. It is social beers.
I couldn't play sevens when I was 20, not in my 40s. Rowan, you weren't a bad sevens player, mind, when you were younger.
It was all right.
You were a good rugby player.
Used to be fit then. Too fat now.
I used to think, I was thinking about this the other day, if I'd been in an academy system when we were young, that the likes of yourself probably would have been involved somewhere with the Ospreys, because you can't deny when you were under 16, you were a good player.
Yeah, that's because I was one of those kids with a moustache when I was 13.
And you've kept it. And you've kept it. Fantastic.
I've kept it, yeah.
Right, so Hughes, when you were in New Zealand, that's where you signed for Llanelli. Is that right?
Yeah. So, yeah, while I was out in New Zealand, I think my father phoned me or texted me first saying that Kev had bumped into him on the cross in Ystradgynlais and wanted my number. So I passed it on, and yeah, I ended up having a text off Kev.
What's Kevin Williams' job in Llanelli now?
Team manager.
Oh, great. He's a very good bloke, Kev. He's a very knowledgeable rugby man.
Yeah.
He's done really well for himself.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great bloke.
I got to be honest, Llanelli are not my favourite side. But there's no denying there's a massive love affair between Ystradgynlais and Llanelli, isn't there? If you take Owen, Vernon, Bucks into equation, and then you've also got people like Ryan Sparky played there for a bit, Stuart Sharkey played there for a bit.
Bodie, I think, played there as well, didn't he?
Bodie played there for a bit. Our friend Ryan Perrett played there. Kieran Bola-Jones played there. Kippers played there. And if you go through the thing, and obviously there's like doing Gavin and Stacey when nobody talks about the fishing trip. Nobody in my family talks about my grandfather playing with Llanelli. It's like, whoa, we had a couple of games there. Let's never talk about it. I mean, but yeah, and it's as much as thing. But obviously, for you, Davis is
your father's a Scarlet.
Yes, he played one game for the Scarlets at he reckons. When all the Lions and the Welsh internationals had gone away somewhere.
Was it a COVID virus, Sky? Was it not?
I think so.
Oh, but and Llanelli, obviously your father's from New Dock, even though John Owen has tried spreading the rumour he's from Trimsaran. But was obviously there's a thing. I remember arguing with your brother, Tristan was trying to tell me Llanelli are the greatest cup side in the world, greatest team in the world. And I was trying to say, no, they're not. And this was like a few years ago. They're not. I did a project about it in school. But you left school 25 years ago, like. There's a lot happening in between.
And he wasn't the brightest anyway, so it's probably wasn't correct then.
He's my second favourite brother. Anyway, how's it going in Llanelli?
Amazing, pal, thanks. I often disagree with you on your thoughts on Llanelli. Since I've been down there, it's it's been amazing. The boys have welcomed me, been great. Enjoying the rugby as well. I've sort of moved into centre and playing a lot more centre now, so yeah, it's great club facilities as well. You get to train in the barn and use the gym down there, down at Parc Scarlet. So yeah, love it.
Do you prefer playing centre?
Yeah, I'd probably say so. Yeah, get a bit more time on the ball and get to see sort of things more in front of you. And yeah, definitely, yeah, prefer centre. Inside centre, 13, not for me. Not fast enough.
Rowan, you played a few positions, didn't you?
Well, at one time, every position. Just jack of all trade, master of none.
I remember going to watch the youth in the cup final. You started the game at scrum half and finished the game at tight dead.
Other way round.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, either way, it's pretty mental, right? Yeah. But
Do you have much of a link with the Scarlet Seniors squad at all, Lewis, with Llanelli?
I mean, we get boys coming down. Say if they're coming back from injury or lack of game time, the boys will come down and train with us and play. So yeah, in that sort of sense, yeah. I suppose if you do play well, you know, there's chances to go up to play for the A team and further on then for the Scarlets themselves. So yeah, you know, there's more of a link there than sort of any other club in the Prem. You know, I suppose Cardiff or Newport will have the same effect. But we do. There is a link there.
What is it difficult to when a player from regional rugby steps down to play for the club, and say now you're the regular? So say now they want Steph Hughes to have a game now, and you get dropped for him. How do you find that? Has that happened?
It has. Well, I haven't been there long, but it hasn't happened to me. You know, I spend most of the time on the bench anyway. The captain's the 12, so Johnny Lewis. He's getting on a bit now. He's probably going to knock it on the head, to be honest. So he's probably about 45, something like that. But no, I suppose you just got to take it on the chin. You know, the Scarlets have a lot of say. I suppose they have a lot of say in it. So I don't know. I suppose you just got to take it on the chin.
I suppose it's how it's got to work because they are the feeder clubs, aren't they?
Yeah.
But obviously, if you're playing well week in, week out, then there must be a frustration to it as well.
Yeah, it is tough.
What I will give Llanelli, mine, you know, we've seen like people who haven't perhaps or been released by academies like Lee Byrne, Liam Williams, Owen Williams, who've gone there and then gone on to play for the Scarlets because they've shown enough promise at clubs. So it's great, really, that they have got that avenue into playing professional rugby beyond just the academies. Right, so obviously now that's more or less your rugby up until now. Obviously, we're hoping that you achieve far more. You're obviously quite good at other sports, aren't you? You're quite a good cricketer.
Well,
do you agree with that?
Try, yeah. I try.
And so you play for Power Schools, am I right?
No, it was West Glamorgan actually.
Oh,
West Glamorgan. Yeah, West Glamorgan. I'm not sure if Powys had a team, to be honest. Yeah, it was West Glamorgan County. Kind of probably under 12s to under 15s or 14s. I had a couple of years there playing for West Glam. Yeah.
Because it must have been hard for you to see Ystradgynlais cricket disbanding.
Yeah, it was. You know, so like my rugby started playing cricket for Ystradgynlais. So, you know, to see it go, we had not only my playing career. You know, my father played cricket for Ystradgynlais for years, and you know, going to watch him play when I was a kid, and being on the boundary watching and playing cricket with the other kids that I used to go along to watch. You know, so it's been it was a big part of my life growing up. So yeah, it was definitely sad to see it go.
You obviously got to spend a lot of time with Adrian Locke as well.
Yeah.
But, do you know Adrian is only one of two men to ever win the Ystradgynlais Cricket Player of the Year and Rugby Player of the Year? John Owen is the only other one. As a start for you. Right. So obviously, cricket. You like playing a bit of golf as well, don't you?
Love my golf now, especially last summer during lockdown. Sort of picked it back up again.
Who do you play with?
Lots of people. Who? My old man, Jamo. Anyone,
well,
you know.
You and Garjamo recently did that 10K in 10 days, is it, for the Mind charity, is it?
Yeah, that's it. So we run 10K each day for 10 consecutive days for Mind in Ystradgynlais.
So how much did you raise?
1,500, I think. Around that.
It's incredible, to be fair.
Yeah, I think Jamo said, "Do you want to do a bit of a run for charity?" And he said, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's pick a charity." So we picked Mind in Ystradgynlais, and you know, when we first sort of set out to do it, we didn't think we'd get anywhere near that sort of money. So still thanks to everyone that donated for that, and yeah, they were chuffed to bits with it.
I got to give it a Garjamo. And Rowan, he's the same age as you, isn't he?
Yeah.
You'd have played youth rugby for Ystradgynlais with you, wouldn't he? He's kept himself really fit. I know his job entails that, but the fact he's still playing rugby this late on is incredible, to be fair to him. Also, he's played for the British Lions Classics team or something as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
He
Classic
played out
Lions.
in things. So he's so I remember as well, and he hates me reminding him of this, but he kicked the winning penalty for Ystradgynlais in the Swansea Valley Cup final once against Abercrave. And it's something to always remind him. He's got a little bit of blue in him. Hopefully, when he watches this, bring a bit back blue in him.
That was the only downside of running 10k every day with him, was him bragging about Ystradgynlais and talking about Ystradgynlais all the time. So,
and in fairness to him,
I made sure I took my earphones the day after and turned them up full volume.
In fairness to him and a lot of people down there along with him have worked really hard down in Ystradgynlais, like they do in a lot of clubs around Wales, and people don't get the credit they deserve for it, really. But but guys, I think he's a level 3 coach now as well, to be fair to him.
Yeah,
so
he's a great job.
He's doing well.
Yeah.
I know Daniel's got a question for you about football.
On and Dan?
Well, I know you've played for a lot of teams with the rugby, but I wasn't sure if you played for any teams locally, but then I apparently I've heard you played for Cum Wanderers. Is that can't be true, surely? As it is going through.
Well, it is correct, but started off my footballing career at Penrose United. Dan.
Like the Yellows.
Yeah. It's not Penrose anymore now, is it? It's just Ystradgynlais, isn't it?
Yeah, we merged with Ystradgynlais about 7 years ago. So it was always kind of the unofficial team. But we just did it. Nobody knows what Penrose is, but everyone seems to know what Ystradgynlais is, isn't it? So
yeah. No, Penrose. When I was a kid growing up, playing football alongside rugby, and then I think I played a season for Cum then at youth. A lot of the boys from school. I was in sixth form at the time. A lot of the boys from school are playing just for a laugh, and Tom Gallagher and Keith for the team managers, So
I thought Mr. Cronin was team manager.
No, I don't know, to be honest, but I know Keith and Tom were there, and it was a good laugh, and that's the only reason why I went.
Yeah, no, and I think, and I tell this to a lot of kids, no matter who you play for, really, obviously I want people to play for Ystradgynlais, but fundamentally, as long as you're playing with your mates at that level, does it really matter? Do you mean?
No, exactly.
I don't know. I'm always going to be obviously biased towards Ystradgynlais, but if you look at the depth of it, like surely people are going to enjoy playing more and give a bit more if their mates are around them.
My family on my mother's side were Cum Wanderers when they were playing football, so because I had to go there as well. Keep the tradition going.
Yes. So in lockdown, how's your diet been?
Terrible. Barbecues every day in the summer last year. I suppose everybody else was the same as well, I'm sure.
Are you a fan of takeaways?
Well, who isn't a fan of takeaways? Okay?
What's your favourite one in our area?
Do love an Indian, to be fair. Probably difficult to decide between tiffin and rice and spice. Both lovely takeaways, to be fair to them. So yeah, probably go Indian.
What about you,
Dan?
One
of those two.
Ooh, favourite takeaway.
Hey, this is a specialist subject. Come on.
Well, I'm probably more of a chippy man, I got to be honest. I'm more of a chippy kind of guy, I think. Just basic chippy, I think.
What about you, Ro?
Anything. I do like, there's a new place in Ponty, Rickshaw. Bloody lovely that is.
What do they do there?
Indian sort of mashup, like burgers with an Indian flavour, and they deliver to Ystradgynlais too.
Oh, bonus.
Try that. I've to try that one.
Shake, what's yours? Is this something something about Rich Salt Thursday? What's this? What's that about?
Well, if I pick my favourite, I would go with the Old Temp fish bar in Ystradgynlais. I'm the same as you, Dan. I like a chippy, but I'm a specialist risol eater. To the point, when I was a little bit fatter, a little bit bigger, and I was living in Glanreed, when I was walking home from work every Thursday, I'd call in to buy a risol. So I just named it Risol Thursday, and it becomes a bit of a tradition. So then I'd be walking home with my risol. Then I thought, risol the same shape as an apple. I'll eat it as an apple on the way home. And then realising then, I'm thinking to myself, well, if it's an apple, it must be all right. I convinced myself the risols were healthy. But anyway, so I'm walking back now, eating my risol, and I think when I get home, I could have done with a risol. So I started buying 2 risols. And next thing you know, every Thursday you're having 2 rissoles and a jumbo sausage and batter. Do you know what I mean? And it just it's bad, isn't it? But the most amazing.
Some dingy den rissoles all around you. What's going on?
But I would only do it on a Thursday. It was the most random thing ever. But I do love a rissole. But the most amazing thing about a rissole is you can only get rissoles in Wales.
Yeah, I was going to ask now. Is it? Can you only get a rissole in Wales? Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. I didn't notice. I was in England and I asked for a rissole and chips, and they looked at me daft, and I was like, I would just blew my mind. I got to be honest.
Have I missed something? Are we sponsored by rissoles or something?
Rissole Thursdays with who? Shaky Thomas.
Don't you like rissoles, Rob?
Yeah, they are. Like, you know, right?
You've got a kind of name for it, really. You know, Rowan's rissoles. You could have a shop in England somewhere and have the monopoly. You have like 50 million people at your shop buying Rowan's rissoles.
Sometimes I've had a rissole and there's been no meat in it. I don't agree with that. That's not rissoles.
Was it a cheese rissole?
It's got to have meat.
Yeah, I totally. And to be fair, the ones in a temp are amazing. So I'd recommend anybody go in there. But I tell you what else they don't get in England is custard slices.
What? No way.
They haven't got custard slices in England.
No, I don't believe that.
Have you ever bought one in England?
I never tried.
Exactly. They don't exist in England.
Yeah.
Are you a custard slice fan, Hughes?
I do like a custard slice, but the messy they are. It's the only thing, isn't it? They are a bit messy, like.
Oh, it's all in how you cut them. You got to cut them correctly and eat them in small segments. I find.
I turn the, we got like the icing on the top.
Yeah.
So I turn that over. So I take it off and turn it over.
Yeah.
So you don't get any fingers. You don't get stick anything in your fingers. Like.
I don't know if anything. There must be other stuff that we haven't got that we've got here and they haven't got there. I can't think really of anything else. But those two things I don't.
Welsh cakes.
You can though. See, you can buy Welsh cakes in. I know, and let's be honest. Picking a man, they aren't they? Well, what the hell is Welsh cakes like? I mean, call them by their name. But you can't buy them in places like Marks and Spencer's in England. So you can buy a Welsh cake, but you can't buy a bloody custard slice. So it's
or a rissole.
Or a rissole, more to the point. Do you know what I mean? And then you go to Scotland and they just batter everything up there.
Oh yeah, I tried battered haggis in Scotland. It was a taste sensation. That was.
Oh yes. I even to the point where I knew rissoles would come up tonight. On Twitter today, I did a poll of the four big things that you can buy alongside your chips in a chippy, and we had fish, rissole, jumbo sausage, particularly with batter for me, or a pie. Do you know what I mean? And I was relish proud of the rissole because it was a dead heat with fish, and fish is the traditional thing to buy. So I was really proud that the rissole is holding its own. But I was thinking then, if you went to England, you'd have one less choice. You know what I mean? You go in, like, you've got fish, pie, and sausage, and that's all your options are. I don't know, it's very limited. I'm glad I live in Wales.
Well, what chippy do you go to?
That's when you should be drinking your mug now, Wales.
You know, anyway, I think I've talked enough about rissoles. Talking about England, Wales, who's going to win Saturday? Iwan?
Wales, boy. Cymru on byth.
Any prediction? How much?
I'd like to say by, comfortably, but Wales, England, always a tight game, so I'm going to go Wales by 4.
Rowan, you got anything on that?
I'm your eternal optimist. I've bet on a Wales Grand Slam every year for the last 10 years.
That's not too bad an option at the moment, is it?
Couple of wins there, boy.
Yeah.
We because I remember in our WhatsApp group last week, Ro, everybody was saying, "Oh, Wales are doomed, Wales are doomed," but you kept going. I'm calling it now. There's a Grand Slam, so the fair play to you. Dan, who do you think?
My predictions haven't been great this year, so I'll say England. You'll have the reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Shocking, Dan.
Who's doing check?
I've just got a really bad feeling that there's like a fourth official or an assistant referee or even a referee that are just gagging to give us a red card at some point just to try and even it out. Like, because the problem you get is now that it's so celebrated referees and officials and things that they just want to be either heard or on telly as much as possible, isn't it? But one of them is going to go, right, I can make a name for myself here now. Let's get this red card out there. And I think we've got Murphy and is it Brace, the other Irish one? And they're involved in the next 2 or 3 games, like. And you know, the Pro 14 on the weekend, I think it was Brace who stood in front of a Cardiff tackler and loud corner to score. Do you mean? And it wasn't taken back. So I'm not very trustworthy of their officiating.
He was born in Cardiff. He was just, you know.
That's right. He was. But I got a bad feeling. Anyway, England by 8, I think. Only because I've said Ireland by 8 or Scotland by 8 in the last 2 games. The same theory as Dan, really, to just not jinx them by going for them.
I'm just hoping we haven't seen a big performance under Pivac yet. How nice would it be if the first big one happened on Saturday against England? Would it? That'd be nice.
Fantastic. Do you reckon no crowd will make a difference?
Definitely.
Do you reckon, Ro?
It's got to be in it. You know, there's nothing better than a full Cardiff, especially against England. It's got to count for something. No crowd there.
Well, normally in the Six Nations, it's normally a case of home teams winning, isn't it? If you take Italy at the equation, but out of the 6 games so far, 4 away teams have won. So it's definitely evening things out. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah.
I think coronavirus might have the biggest say on the Six Nations now, especially with 10 France players today, is it?
Yeah. What's happening with that? Will they call it off, or they just bring the other boys in?
Well, what's concerning is they're making a decision on Wednesday, and this show goes out Thursday. So whatever we say now is null and void.
Yeah. Am I then?
It showed something saying that they would have 10 players missing the week after, which is the date they look to play instead, because they'd have to release them back to the English clubs or French clubs. So they're saying, look, this is bad luck. Like, we want to play Saturday.
That's fair enough, isn't it? Tough for them.
Exactly. It's not like they haven't got a shortage of players, is it? They might not be the players they want, but you know, it's a chance for somebody to step up and have the ticket opportunity.
But surely playing with 10 players missing, you've got 10 players somewhere, haven't you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Is better than this 28-0 nonsense that's happening.
Yeah, definitely.
So, at least it's going ahead, like. Yeah. Anyway, anybody else got any questions for Iwan?
I got one. I found a napkin news. I don't know if you remember this when I don't know sure you were 8 or 9, and you. I remember you. I see you potential in you then. See, I got you to sign a napkin. I found it in my thing. I actually own the rights to God this. You're like your agent, so and I think I'm owed some back pay of some sort. Yeah, surely.
Would you have convinced him to go to Russia, Dan?
Oh, I'd have made sure of it. Yeah, more money, isn't it?
I could see you out there like the Abramovich.
I think I remember you asking me a question in us rugby club years back. Rugby or cricket, if you had to choose, like.
Oh, I could see you with a talented kid.
It must have been the same night as I signed that napkin.
Yeah, it's there. I don't know if it'll hold up in a court of law, mind, but.
No, especially when you started the night off with a pen and a paper in your hand.
Hey, it's a napkin, it is.
I got to be honest. Being a professional cricketer wouldn't be that tragic, would it? What other sport do you stop to have food? It must be the only sport going, isn't it? Right, let's go in. Let's have some grub.
They play Christmas, so I don't like that. They're away for a long time, aren't
they? Day as well in the Ashes, they?
They what, sorry?
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Boxing Day.
It starts on Christmas Day here, but it's Boxing Day in Australia, right?
Yeah, of course.
But when I used to play cricket, I used to only play for the tees because I was batting 11, not bowling. It was like strictly for the tees. And then you'd watch Adrian Locke. Adrian Locke has got a hell of a tactic in a buffet. Adrian would walk up to a buffet and pick up a plate. He'd put one in the plate and put one in his mouth. And he'd go along. So by the time he's got to the end, he's eaten a plate full and he's got a plate in his hand. It's a fantastic tactic. Like, you might as well take a chair instead of a plate to the buffet, like, and just sit next to him. Adrian, brilliant book.
I got a question for you. did you ever ask your father if he raced against Colin Jackson in the hurdles?
I did after we were in the club we were, weren't we?
Yeah.
I did. He did.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think I'm not sure if he came fourth against him or something along those lines, but yeah, he definitely raced against him.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, he wasn't beating him.
I think. Say it again.
Let's be honest, he wasn't going to beat him, was he?
No, definitely not.
If he was, it'd be Paul Evans we'd be talking about.
He probably fancy his chances now, mind.
Oh, he'll have a crack, guy.
Yeah,
he's competitive. Your father's competitive. He'll train up for it. He'll have a go.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wasn't he in the paper? Wasn't Colin Jackson in the papers that he needs 2 knee replacements as well?
Now's the time. That was his time.
He's on Dancing on Ice, isn't he?
Is he?
Often thought if like.
Not that I watch Dancing on Ice, mate.
Do you have to watch Nigel Walker coming over to play Union, innit? Colin Jackson was even faster again, wasn't he? So, like, why aren't we getting these athletes to come over and play, like? Because I spoke to Andrew Lloyd Hughes about his boy. Because he runs for under-18s Wales, doesn't he? And does he run for Great Britain under-18s?
I think so, yeah.
Something like that,
He's really quick.
Yeah. Owain. Is it Owen Owain, his name is?
Owain,
yeah.
And I did ask him to come on the show. I think he's quite reluctant because he's quite quiet, quite modest about things. Like, he don't like to brag about himself like he won. But he was... But I tell you what, he's a fantastic athlete. And I was telling his father, like, after he finishes athletics, he needs to like step over and play sevens.
He was a hell of a rugby player as well.
Yeah, he's got the background to it. Like, even if he didn't play 15 aside, because he's only a slight boy, obviously he can fill out as he gets older. Like you did it one. He can fill out, like, and perhaps sevens could be the way. And these athletes, like, do you know what I mean? I don't know, hybrid athletes. People playing lots of multiples of sport.
But you see the USA, don't you, coming over from American football, yeah. So sort of similar skill sets or what have you. But yeah, you see them coming over and tearing it up, don't you, in the sound.
Yeah. Anyway, Hughes, I was devastated to find out that you had a girlfriend. I thought that was the end of your rugby career. Like, I thought it was another good man lost. That's what happened to Rowan. He was going all the way. His wife was held him back.
That's the problem. We went all the way and we had a kid.
But yeah, so but then she's got quite the rugby pedigree in the family herself, isn't she? Obviously, she hasn't got a rugby pedigree. She doesn't play. Or does she play? I don't know. Probably she does. But
she had a couple of games for Gleneath, I think, back in the day.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Because
a stepfather's from Gleneath, so.
Oh, tidy.
Yeah.
But didn't her father play for Bridgend?
Yeah, I think so. Bridgend. I'm not sure if he played for Llanelli as well, but he was.
But obviously, our uncle Gary Pierce had 3 caps for Wales, didn't he? And he played for the Llanelli when they beat Australia in 1984.
Yeah. Went
to rugby league, signed for my favourite club, Hull. 4 caps for Wales there. I don't know this off the top of my head. I've just been on Wikipedia. But the interesting thing I found out, when he went to rugby league, he played standoff, which is the same as outside half, but he played hooker as well. Which, you know, I thought he would have to be quite a solid chap. But then he looked, he's a 15 stone outside half. So he must have been a big bloke, like. But you were telling me he's still up in Hull, is he?
Yeah, I think he's coaching Hull Rugby Union Football Club up there. So yeah, he's been up there for years. Gone to Morley.
Oh, great. Right, Ro, any questions?
None at all.
Daniel, any questions?
No, I'm good.
I got a question for Rose. When's the club opening, but
we all waiting on
I'm dying for a chicken tikka roll, I am.
Chicken tikka roll. Just knock the back door 3 times and they'll let you in.
All right, cheers.
We don't really do that. Just
no, I know. We'll have a line now. Rowan's Russells and rolls.
I tell you what, I love his rolls. Love them. Cheese and onion rolls. But I did find out that Lydia makes them. Is this true?
She does.
Yes. The scam. But this sounds better, doesn't it? When you do it, like.
Yeah. And I present them in that lovely little bit of cling film, so that makes all the difference.
Fantastic, like the final touch. Anyway, Iwan, on behalf of BV2, we'd like to thank you so much for sharing your story.
No worries. Thank you, diolch yn fawr.
No problem. Really appreciate it. Hope you get back playing as soon as possible, because it must be difficult, especially for boys your age now and younger. That losing a season of rugby is massive. I'm just hoping we don't lose rugby players or football players or any other sport through it. Obviously, we've listened to Iwan speak tonight. If you need someone to listen to yourself, if you've got any issues, you just really feel as if you want to speak to somebody, we promise, we can't promise we'll fix you, but we will 100% promise we'll listen. Just drop a message to us, and even if you have to put you on the Mind Charity, anything like that, please let us know. We're here to help. Right, thank you, boys. On
Thank
to
you.
the next show.